Dandadan. These 3 syllables have never been uttered more than it has in the past 3 months. Manga readers glaze this series to the point where hype doesn't even cover the expectations set for the show. And when it finally aired, the hype kept growing. Dandadan is about a boy who lost his testicles to a horny ghost. If that doesn't convince you to watch it, then you should probably lay off the hentai. No, but seriously, Dandadan has one of the rarest premises, not just in anime, but as a show as a whole. The idea of proving that aliens and ghosts exist is something a person on LSD would think of. It's far-fetched, ambitious, and yet, they make it work. I just can't wrap my head around how the author comes up with such bizarre beings while still staying true to what they really are. He takes these concepts and reimagines them in the weirdest ways possible. We have sumo wrestlers, giant crabs, a boxing shrimp, entities that are based on urban legends. You see, ghosts and aliens are 2 sides of a coin. Ghosts are the supernatural that derives from traditional folklore, while aliens are more science fiction, like mechanical dicks. Yuki Nobutatsu just finds ways to blend horror and humor in the most entertaining way, all while keeping the story wild and unpredictable. That's the beauty of Dandadan. Then you throw 2 high schoolers into this chaotic equation and it becomes a very fun mess. All because of some kid who lost his balls. Dandadan started out as a story that focuses on the supernatural, the action, but then it became more
Think
of a guy that was forced to read 100 shoujo mangas. He'll make your heart flutter by the end. I start smiling and kicking my feet together. Can't let the homies know I fuck with this. But what makes the romance in Dandadan stand out? What makes these 2 better than most characters in romance animes? How does the author mix love into an already genre-filled story? It's simple, really. He doesn't. I once read that the key to success is to not try to be successful. Now, that doesn't mean that you should skip studying to get good grades. That's how you end up failing university. But to succeed, one should not be obsessed over success. To achieve a goal, one should not force him or herself to chase it. Dandadan is not trying to be a romance. That's why these playful moments don't feel forced. The interactions feel genuine and realistic. It's comedic and lighthearted, a complete contrast to the action-packed chaos of the plot, which makes you appreciate the romance even more between Momo and Ken Takakura. The story uses the name as a joke, but I didn't even know that it was a real name and that he's a fucking legend in Japan. So allow me to give a brief cultural lesson on Ken Takakura. Ken Takakura was an icon in Japanese cinema, appearing in over 200 films starting from the mid-50s to his final role in 2012. If you're not from Japan, you probably aren't familiar with his films, but he always plays these manly and stoic characters, often as Yakuza, which explains why Momo dated her ex, who quote, looks like Takakura Ken. But enough about Ken, let's talk about... We've heard of MILFs, but never have we once thought of GILFS. I had a lot of goals set out this year, but seeing not 1 but 2 hot white-haired grannies was not on that list. I think I might have just found my new type. Supporting characters in Dandadan often possess these very quirky personalities that make them stand out. Everyone thinks of Gigi as annoying, but Gigi is the type of friend that drives you home safely, but drives back going 200 on an 80. But there's just something about Seiko that tops everyone. Maybe it's them, maybe it's the white hair, maybe it's because she's overpowered. I feel like I know someone like this. Close enough. Welcome back, King. The story starts off with Momo getting raped by aliens. People were not happy about that. A few episodes later, they're diving naked, running naked. If you're one of those people, get on some hentai. Yes, there's 100 different ways the author could have approached this, but you forgot he once worked with a deranged mangaka. Was this chapter necessary? Maybe. Was nudity necessary? Yes, very much so. They use it as a part of the comedic and chaotic atmosphere that defines the series. It's not just showing skin for the sake of arousing the audience. Yet on hentai for that, it's not fan service if the fans don't even want it. They're showing skin for a purpose. Your clothes are not going to be untouched when you're brutally molested every day for summer. Clothes cause drag underwater, so removing them would reduce resistance.
Yes, science!
There's 100 different ways, but this is the most ideal way to approach nudity. So anyways, I started stroking. Running animation is one of the hardest challenges for an animator. Forget running, even walking seems impossible. It needs to be balanced. The timing, the motions, the physics, the background, everything has to be in sync for it to not look like this shit. But running in Dandadan is a staple. It's iconic. Give the main character speed as a superpower and he's zooming past every episode. And the animators take you along that thrilling experience, one step at a time. Episode 7 is the best episode in the anime in my opinion. Not only is it a heartbreaking masterpiece, but also a testament to how versatile the story could be. No dialogue, just moving frames and that sobbing music. Fuck. It's times like these where the anime is granted the chance to add on to the source material, to deepen the emotional depth and expand on the storytelling. The anime takes those few panels and transformed it into something unexplainable. Actions speak louder than words, but this one was roaring in passion. This episode is proof that when creative people understand each other's intentions, the outcome far surpasses what anyone could achieve alone. Episode 7 is not just a sad episode. It is a statement piece to how deep the stories could be, how much thought was given to each and every character, humans and non-humans alike. It's a curveball that makes you guess what other emotions the author can evoke in you. I might not have read 100 shoujo mangas, but damn, maybe I should. Dandadan characters are far from typical. They're not tied to the usual tropes that we see in anime. They're unique, hence they have to sound unique. They need to capture the chaoticness of the series, so destroying your vocal cords is a must. But also be versatile enough to embody the awkwardness of the characters. Momo and Gigi. I do not ship them, I just like how they sound. Together, Shion Wakayama has not voiced a ton of characters, so her voice sounds fresh. Her screams are gratifying. Okarun, he's used to this. But Gigi sounds the best. Voicing Gigi might be the hardest role in Kaito Ishikawa's career. He always plays these cold and blunt characters, so rarely will you ever hear him sound like yeah, Gigi might be high. 3 months ago, I read a cheeky little manga called. I ditched manga after that. If given a choice between manga or anime, 10 out of 10 times I would go with anime. And it's not because I hate manga or I hate reading. Maybe the latter. But I guess I'm more of an audio-visual kind of guy. I like when things are moving and presented to me with colors and sounds. And then I read Dandadan, and it's like... I don't read a lot of mangas, but I know for a fact that the average manga does not look this detailed. This isn't just drawings, this is art, Mr. White. I've never paid so much attention to how each panel looks, the minute details that add so much more to the experience, many of which were inevitably overlooked in the anime. But that doesn't take away the immersive experience crafted by Saint Saru. The sound design and fluid choreography creates a unique experience that you would only get by watching the anime. And yet, I find myself appreciating the action panels even more. I don't want this to be brushed off in less than a second. I want to absorb the intensity at my own pace. Conundrum. But as much as we love to compare the anime and the manga, they're both entirely different mediums of entertainment. Both of them offer unique experiences that cater to different preferences. Whether you're a fan of manga or animation, Dandadan excels in both. But maybe the anime is a little